What's up guys, I'm back here with another video this week, and in this week's video we're going to talk about all things Google Analytics. So if you have a brand new website and you're really just trying to find a way to track numbers, track visitors, and really understand what the conversion looks like on your website, then be sure to keep on watching because I'm going to show you guys the 5 things that you're always going to want to do and always want to track, look at when you are doing GA for the very first time. In today's video, I'll be using the typical My Outdoor Store interface, which pretty much anyone who is learning Google Analytics for the first time, this is like a test account that Google will typically give you. Alright, so if you're new to Google Analytics and you actually don't know how to use this website, well, you're in luck. The very first homepage that you go to is called Google Analytics Home. And what this pretty much will give you is all the dashboard and our data that you really need at the first glance. Whether that's to really understand how many users on your website, how many sessions have you gone on your website, what's the bounce rate, what's the session duration as well. You can see actively in real time actually how many people are on your website right now. Something that you really want to know is that when you're first starting out, typically you'll get a lot of website visitors, but they might be you and your teammates. And so something that you really want to do is that you want to filter out any IP addresses that is really relevant to you and your team. And so how you can do that is that if you go to administration right there, and then you click all filters, and then within all filters you can add a filter. And so pretty much what this filter will do is that it will filter out any kind of website traffic that is coming from the specific IP address for your website view. So typically what I really like to do is that I like to remove the IP address from literally every single view that is on Google Analytics for my website. So for example, if I said Nick, or maybe exclude Nick, and then you would need to have it set as a predefined filter type. You want to exclude an IP address, traffic specifically, and you also want to make sure that it matches it to be the same thing. So you want to put equal, and then you put the IP address in here, and then you want to also include which view of the website you want to include. Typically for me, I like to exclude all of the views just because I know that with website data, I jump into multiple views at different times, and so if I had to think about removing my actual kind of own traffic from my own IP address while just trying to scramble for data, that would be much of a headache. So I'd rather just remove all of the data at the same time, and then I would press save. And so pretty much once you press save, the filter name will show up on this screen here. And moving forward, you guys don't have to really worry about whether or not your IP address is included into the data. So say for example, you just launched a website maybe 2 days ago, and you saw about 50 people come through the website. But for a second, you're really doubting this because you have only shared it with 2 other people. So organically, you have a new website and you have 50 people that have gone to your website organically. Chances are that's probably not the case if you haven't shared it to anyone else but the 2 other people that you mentioned in the beginning. So you really want to make sure that you include filters for IP addresses, especially if they're teammates, your friends or families, or anyone that you shared your website with. You really want to make sure that the traffic that you're actually getting is actually really representative of the data that's actually coming in to GA. So at this point, you're probably really curious, okay, so now where do I go to look for my data? So a really good place to start would probably be under audience, and you go all the way down to user flow, and right now you can see kind of the drop off of how many pages people went through. And within user flow, you can pretty much see the point of interaction that people have engaged with your website. So whether it's going to the home page, then going into another subcategory page, and then maybe a product page. So you can pretty much see the destination, final, and start from the whole spectrum, which is really awesome. Say for example, you started a brand new marketing campaign and you really want to understand whether or not people are actually going to a landing page. And so you can have this landing page that you really want to track be a goal within Google Analytics. So a simple way to do that is if you go under administration here, and then you go under goals, under the view that you want to check out, and you press new goal, and you fill out this part here which is pretty simple as well, but just to walk you guys through it really quickly, you can go to custom, you can put the goal name, goal 1, you can make sure it's a destination, and within goal details, pretty much if your website URL is the URL that you have here, and so pretty much to what I said earlier about the URL being kind of like the final destination and the final goal that you have for your website, you can put that right over here, and then you can press save. And so once you guys set up your very first goal, you can see here that it's set up as a destination and it's currently recording live right now. So anyone that would be going to that URL that you set up in the URL tab will pretty much show up here in past 7 days conversions as number 1, 2, or depending how many people go to your URL. And so going back to the conversions tab, pretty much when you set up your goal, if you go back to goal overview here, and so pretty much every single goal that you get, every single URL visit that you get to that actual landing page will be considered a goal, and it's going to be numbered 1, 2, 3 depending on how many people actually go to your website, and it'll show up right here. And you can also break it down to source and medium. And I guess the fourth thing that I really want to mention is that within goals and whether or not how many people go to your website, you can actually track whether or not they're coming from your marketing campaigns and paid initiatives. And so what I mean by that is if you go under add segment here and you go into create a new segment, you can actually create a new segment of people based on tracking parameters that you put onto your paid marketing channels. So under traffic sources, you can put the campaign, you can put the medium, you can put the source, you can put the keyword, but this is all really dependent on the UTM tracking parameters that you put onto your marketing paid channels or even your organic channels as well. But wait, if you guys don't know how to do this, do not worry. I made a video all about it over here that you can check out and learn about how to make UTM parameters so that they can go into Google Analytics to really do more effective tracking for you. And so pretty much with every UTM parameter tracking code, your UTM parameter code looks like this. And pretty much this is what you put into G8 under new segments. And so it's really cool because within goals, you can actually filter goals based on people who've interacted with your ad. And so pretty much once you add this segment here, compared to all users, so pretty much what creating a segment really does and really helps you with is that if you have a bunch of marketing channels out there and you have a bunch of goals out there as well, within Google Analytics, like you'll probably get all the same data bundled in together. But what creating a new segment really helps you with is that you can filter out what kind of people are going to your website based on different campaigns and paid initiatives that you're doing. So for example, as a baseline, you can use all users and just keep that as a standard. You don't need to worry about it. All users pretty much means anyone that's going to your website, whether it's paid or organic. And so with your new segment that you just made called Social Media Paid Ad 1, this is for people who are only coming from this one specific ad that you have on Facebook. And so you can actually figure out the overall goal conversions from everyone that came to your site versus the number of goals and conversions that came from the actual paid ad that you might just be doing alone. So you can actually see the difference in comparison between kind of all and organic versus the paid initiative that you're doing. Yeah, this is a pretty good kind of like dashboard from the acquisition overview, because here you can see basically depending on the segment that you choose, whether it's all users or the new segment from the social media campaign that's paid that I walked with you guys overview just now, you can see the difference between the two, which is really awesome. And it's really great because at the very bottom of this thing, they put the acquisition in terms of the users, new users, and also the sessions, as well as the behavior in terms of the bounce rate, pages, and average time people actually spend on each session that they are engaging with our website with. And finally, as well as conversions as well. So yeah, those are pretty much the 5 things I'd really recommend for anyone to really get started with within Google Analytics. It's a really good spot to kind of like look for things, but I would say, in all honesty, like the interface is not that hard to use. It does take a few kind of like steps to dig for things, especially if you're looking for things for a report. There is a really cool way to export things. You can just press export, you can make it a PDF or an Excel spreadsheet, so it's pretty easy in that sense. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Alright guys, so that's pretty much a wrap to this week's video. Really want to give you guys a quick overview of really how to track things in Google Analytics, what to look for, what to measure, and pretty much how to use the interface, because I know it's pretty complex and hard to use if you haven't used it before. So thanks so much for watching guys, and I will see you guys in the next one.